It was a rainy evening when the words fell from Rachel's lips. We were sitting at the dining table dinner, untouched, tension thick in the air. She looked at me with tired eyes and said, "I don't even feel anything anymore." Her voice was flat, no anger, no tears, just emptiness. I froze, staring at the woman I had built a life with, wondering when she had become so distant. I asked her what she meant, hoping she was only tired or upset about work. But she repeated slowly, "I don't feel anything for us, for this marriage, for you." The words cut deeper than any argument we had ever had. 4 years I had worked hard, provided for us, believed we were building something strong. Now it felt like I had been walking alone while she had drifted far away. I wanted to shout, I wanted to cry, but silence was all that came. Before I could gather myself, the front door opened and her sister Claire walked in. She had a key since she visited often and helped Rachel when I was away at work. Claire paused, sensing the heavy atmosphere, her eyes moving from me to Rachel. "What's going on?" she asked, gently setting down her bag. Rachel turned away, muttering, "Nothing, you don't need to know." But Claire crossed her arms and said clearly, "I heard enough." I looked at Claire, unsure whether she would defend me or side with her sister. Claire walked closer and said, "Rachel, do you even realize what you are saying?" Rachel rolled her eyes, saying, "I'm just telling the truth, I don't feel anything anymore." Claire's face hardened, and her reply was nothing I could have expected. She said, "Then maybe you don't deserve what you have." The room went silent. Rachel's jaw dropped, my own heart pounding with shock. Claire continued, "I've watched him work late nights, save for your dreams, support you when you doubted yourself. I've seen him carry this marriage while you drift further away, and now you tell him you feel nothing." Rachel stammered, trying to interrupt, but Claire raised her hand firmly. "You're my sister and I love you, but you're wrong here," she said. I sat frozen as Claire defended me, words I never thought I'd hear from her. Rachel looked angry, defensive, saying, "You don't understand how I feel." But Claire answered, "I do understand, and I also see what you're throwing away." She turned to me and said, "Don't let her convince you that you're the problem." Tears welled in my eyes, hearing someone finally speak what I had been carrying in silence. Rachel looked down, biting her lip, anger mixed with guilt. I whispered, "Rachel, is this really how you feel? Do you truly feel nothing?" She stayed quiet, unable to answer. Claire spoke again, saying, "Maybe what you feel is not emptiness, but fear. Maybe you're afraid of facing yourself." Rachel finally broke into tears, whispering, "I don't know what I feel anymore." Her sister held her shoulders firmly, saying, "Then don't destroy the one person who still stands beside you." For the first time in months, Rachel looked at me not with indifference but with shame. I saw the cracks in her mask, the realization that she had hurt me beyond repair. I told her I couldn't keep carrying this marriage alone. She had to choose to fight for us or let go. Rachel nodded through tears, promising she would seek help, talk honestly, and try again. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was the first step toward truth. Claire stayed with us that night, making sure the conversation didn't collapse into silence again. We talked until midnight about mistakes, regrets, and small hopes. The storm outside echoed the storm inside our hearts, but slowly the rain eased. Days turned into weeks as Rachel began therapy and I attended with her. It was not easy. Anger resurfaced, doubt lingered, but honesty became our foundation. Claire checked in often, reminding Rachel of the words she had spoken that night. Each visit she reminded her sister not to take love for granted. Months later, Rachel looked at me one evening and said, "I do feel something again." Her eyes were clearer, softer, more real than they had been in years. I smiled weakly, knowing healing takes time, but also knowing I had seen a change. In the end, it wasn't my pleas that reached her, it was the shocking reply from her own sister. A reply that forced her to face what she was losing. Our marriage did not become perfect overnight, but it survived. Because sometimes the harshest truth has to come from the one person you least expect. And I will never forget the night her sister's words saved what I thought was already gone.